This morning, I was really curious because I was feeling like a little bit of an undercurrent of efforting. But I'm pretty good at this. I'm pretty good at living a life in ease. But this morning, and I think recently, generally, I've been feeling a little bit more efforting and a little bit less ease. And so I don't know. For a little while, I was just like, okay, not a big deal. Like, didn't really register, but then it registered. Oh, wow. I think I've been efforting a little too much. And it's been a while since I did like kind of like took a snapshot of what my undercurrent stories were in my mind. And so this morning, I decided to actually just like blurt out. Actually, I used ChatGPT because it was helpful to blab a whole bunch of stuff and then for ChatGPT to actually just clean it up and then give me just like the script of essentially what I said. So it was really cool. So I basically and if you would have generally asked me, I would have generally been like, yeah, everything's going really well. Like, there's a million signs everywhere. But I was really curious what would come out if I just without filtering just was blabbing. So I was doing the chat GBT feature where I just did like the microphone. So you just blab. So I told chat GBT, I said, chat GBT, ask me how I feel about my business, about finances, about how everything is going, about several, like, I don't know, just things like that. Ask me how it's going. So ChatGPT's like, okay, answer these questions. How's it going? So then I use ChatGPT and I just start blabbing, 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 blabbing in the way that if Libby and I were out to lunch and Libby was like, hey, Alleah, how's it going? Just that exact story. It was like, okay, well, it's going really well, but feeling a little like I don't know what I'm doing over here, feeling like, I am like a little nervous about this piece and but overall really proud, right? So it's just kind of like this mixture of things going really well, really proud, but oh yeah, but then there's like a little bit of wonky energy in there as well. So then ChatGPT spits it out, kind of sums it up. It didn't, I probably would have instructed it if I was going to do a line by line rewrite. I probably would have instructed it to use a little bit more of my own language. But I was messing around and I said, okay, based on this, can you give me a list of my limiting beliefs? It was really cool. So it basically, I was like, I think I have to read the exact prompt that I said that I put in there, but it was like, can you, I don't know, whatever. Tell me what my limiting beliefs are, things that might be true but are energetically unhelpful or something like that. And then so it spit out and it gave me a list of my limiting beliefs. And it was really cool. So it was really cool because it was kind of like the lazy man's way. Now, I would say that there's something in the very beginning of this work, there's something very powerful about doing it manually, about going line by line and forcing yourself to come up with the initial rewrite, even if it's shitty, right? There's something very powerful about you knowing that, like forcing the neurotransmitters to like another route. However, this was really cool. This was really cool to kind of like cheat, speed it up. I got a lot done in 20 minutes. And so one of the things that there was this thing that was like that involved a person that I was like not sh like a little nervous about, like hopeful but a little nervous about. And the rewrite it came back with was really cool. It was, let me see, what was this? It said, this is either, and we rewrite this all the time, but this is either perfect for me or is making space for someone or something even better. Either way, it's working. And I was like, ooh, that's juicy. So I want you to write this down because likely, like on your worksheet piece of paper, the one that you'll throw away, because I usually have a worksheet where I'm doing this stuff, and then I like then transcribe the pieces that are really good onto a fresh piece of paper and throw away the initial piece. So on your initial piece at the top, I want you to write down like, is there something you're a little nervous about? Like in your world, is there somebody you have that are working with? Maybe somebody you've hired and you're not quite sure if they're the right person, or you're not quite sure if like it's going to be successful. Maybe it's not a person, maybe it's like a thing or a project. And we got to just recognize that, okay, maybe there's some like, there's some validity to, oh, like, I don't know. However, we know this on this nuanced level that if we stay in the energy of, I don't know, is this the best way to spend my time? Is this the best person to do the job? Is this the best project? Is this the best priority? Now our energy, our base energy, and has like uncertainty in there, right? And that uncertainty vibe is surely not going to help the manifestation. Now, underneath, right, this thing, person, thing, project, priority, whatever, is either perfect or this is making space for something even better. Either way, it's working. Does somebody want to throw that in the chat? Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. I can do it. Anybody? Okay. I just gotta fold my paper. Fold my paper. Let's see. I'll race you guys. Who's gonna write it in first? This is either perfect or this is making space for something even better. Either way, it's working. So let's just all take a moment to like feel into that for a second. So like think of your thing. And we can actually like fix the logical piece of the brain here. Like either it is indeed perfect, or you being on this journey, trying this thing is a stepping stone to the next thing that will be perfect or the next thing that's evolved. Surely everything that we've done when we're building something is an evolution. Like very little, we just like, you know, start something and then on iteration one, it blows everything out of the water. Even if I'm thinking about like when I decided to come online and scale up like 3 years ago, like everything that I did in the first 18 months, I don't do any of that anymore. Right? So you could essentially say that in one way, you could look and be like, none of that worked. Or you could look at it and it was perfect. It all worked because it led me to the next thing that did work that I would have never been able to step into right away. So there's like this appreciation, the base story. Is the base story it didn't work? Or is the base story actually it did work because then it led me to the thing that worked? So when we're looking at this rewrite and I'm kind of explaining this on a nuanced level to like, you know, let the brain know there's some logic here. We're not like using too many tricks on it. This is either perfect or is making space for something even better. We're not even saying the next thing is going to be perfect. So making space means what like the thing that we're working on is going to work out, or the journey of me being in this is getting me ready for the next thing that's even better. So this is either perfect or it's making space for something even better. And then the juiciest, either way, it's working. Either way, it's working. Now, if any of this you just want to call bullshit on, I don't want you to like think is a problem because you hate this exercise. I think most people are like, okay, cool, this I can feel into this. However, this stuff rewrites are not one size fits all. So you're getting the gist of what's going on here. But if this also doesn't resonate, if this is too positive for wherever you are, don't fucking worry about it. Don't listen to a word I'm saying. Know that you have to dial it back into something even less assertive that still feels soothing. Either way, it's working. It's working. It's working. It's working. So for me, it's funny because so here we are. So like in this business, so like it's been like, what is it? I guess I'm going on about 2 years now. doing content like I've been doing, generating leads like I've been doing the phone calls, I mean, obviously I've been a coach in the space for 10 years, but it's been like 2 years where it's been in this particular package. And that's like 2 years out of actually starting 10 years ago, right? So the reality is like there's been many iterations over and over and over and over again. But wherever we are, we want something more, right? So even where I am now, it can feel like, okay, well, I'm actually working towards this other benchmark that I'm not quite at. And so if we're not careful, we might think that, oh, like I'm not there or I'm not dialed in. But if you look at actually the facts, the fact of the matter is that we've had incredible revenue every single month for nearly 2 years in a row. That we've been operating the same model every day for 2 years, and it's continually working. So there's like this factual piece that says this business model is great and it's growing and it's working. But that doesn't mean that I wake up in the morning feeling like that, because that's something from the past and I'm going towards the future. So we have to be a little bit careful of this, that realizing that as we achieve something, our vantage point changes, and then we immediately want something else, and then we immediately feel like we don't have that thing. So we have to remind ourselves, and it doesn't happen by accident for me. I have to remind myself and make a choice to anchor myself back into the truth, which is not only is it working, it's worked for 2 years. It's already successful. It's already like this. It's already really, really good. And then what I like to also anchor myself into is it's right on track. It's right on track. It's right on track. And this is a sentiment that we have to really practice, because our bodies are never going to feel like they're on track because we always want something different. So we have to anchor ourselves in to it's right on track. It's right on track. And not find any reason to convince ourselves otherwise. So this mantra of it's right on track. It's right on. And when I tell myself that, I'm like, I know this right on track. It's actually fantastic. It's actually amazing. Right? It's right on track. It's right on track. But you can feel it. Say in your mind a second for 2, 3 times. It's right on track. It's right on track. It's right on track. Now, for some of you, you're going to find a relief in there because you're like, oh, yes, it is on track. And this resonates. And it feels like I do need to remind myself to say this over and over and over again. Now, for another portion of you guys, your body might be kicking back and saying, it's not right on track. And I have all this proof otherwise. It's not on track. It's not on track. So if your base body is trying to tell you you're not on track, we have to rewrite that. So I want you to feel into and figure out if you're a person who feels the relief of knowing, like, of course, like, I love this reminder. Of course it's on track. Of course I'm right on track. And if you're that person, we need to get that on a piece of paper. We need it on the fridge. We need that in your phone alarm 10 times a day. We need that sticky note everywhere, because that is a truth that feels good. So we need to build that truth. We need to build that neurotransmitter pathway. We need to build that signal. If you're somebody who kicked back and was like, I'm not on track, we have 2 options here. The first option is just to see if with a couple deep breaths, you can convince yourself otherwise. Like, can we, even though your brain kicked back, can we just wiggle into it? So let's take for anybody who's just like, rolling your eyes, I'm not on track, if you knew all the details, Alleah, and know that we came here to learn. We came here to expand. And everything is unfolding perfectly. So can you breathe into, but what I really do know is that everything is on track. But I do know it's unfolding, and I do know it's on track. If that worked for you, great. So you're gonna move to the other bucket of people where, okay, with a couple deep breaths and a little wiggling, I can flex the energy of, But what I really know is, yes, I'm on track. And that should feel like a deep breath. It should feel like a cool burst of air. It should feel like a hug. And then we know that that's an energy we need to build. If you're still rolling your eyes and you're like, nope, couldn't do it, then we need to just rewrite it back and find something that you can lean into. Like perhaps you can feel like maybe you feel like I'm really close to getting on track, or I'm feeling it, I'm feeling like it's close. I'm feeling like I might not feel like I'm on track, but the energy work I can feel is starting to work. I am feeling better. I am seeing a difference. I am feeling a little bit better. I am doing things a little bit more, a little bit differently. I'm feeling a shift, right? And so if you're able to lean into and find that relief into something like, I can tell I'm close to being on track, or I may not feel on track, but I am feeling a shift, then I want you to capture one of those. If neither of those worked, your homework is to brainstorm and find something that does work. Oh, good, Gina. Gina says, gosh, you have no idea how much I needed this today. Even though the camera's off, she's right there. Perfect, Gina. So good. So then we got to find something. If you cannot at all find something that feels good, then bring that to the guidance channel. You can text Tanya, you can text me. We'll help you. We can even do it on this phone call. So we want to find something that you can lean into that reminds you of what you actually know, which is my pivot is here. I am doing the work. I am feeling a difference. I can feel the right track. I can feel the universe is putting together the track. I can feel that it's right here. I'm looking forward to it. And then we can do a little bonus work there, which is we could imagine, and I had to do this. We can imagine what would it feel like to feel on track. This is something where words might not be as useful as you just feeling it into your body. And I remember this. So a couple years ago, when I was feeling like my dreams, the energy of my dreams were almost but not quite. And basically, I just felt like, oh, I've just done all of this stuff, but it doesn't feel like it's come together. It feels like it's just not quite. And so then I asked myself, well, what's the opposite of that, right? And the opposite of that sentiment is, God, I feel dialed in. I didn't feel dialed in, but I realized I lacked dialed in energy. And that's very similar to this. What's the opposite? The opposite is to be right on track, right on track. So now we can ask ourselves, well, what is the energy of what would I feel like if I was right on track, right on track, right on track, dialed in, right on track, perfectly unfolding? What would that feel like if I was sitting there and just God, the business and everything was rocking and rolling? Ah, what would that feel like? It would just feel like, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeehaw, fuck yeah. God, this is good. This is good. Yum, yum, yum. Then we can start doing that, right? We can pair this would be part of the future cast. For me, for months and months and months on end, I was future casting, being dialed in every single morning. Dialed in. I think the future cast was like, I'm making like, I don't know, at the time it was been like 10 or 20 grand a month, 10 or 20 grand, feeling dialed in. I've I don't know, I had a couple of other just household details. Like I'm going out to sushi all the time, and like I did this renovation project. So I just had this little future cast where like this is the groove of my life. I'm going out to dinner with my daughter. I like renovated this project. The business is doing like 10 or 20 grand a month. I'm feeling really dialed in, dialed in, dialed in. And it took a few months for me to build that energy. So then I was inspired to do things that resulted in me getting dialed in. That was actually me being inspired to go to a free call where somebody taught me how to make a TikTok video. And that was the first like obvious manifestation of that, was showing up on that free call and learning how to make a TikTok video. And then from there, because I got so much value out of that one free phone call, I then hired those guys to be my coaches. And then they just told me how to plug a couple holes. And then next thing you know, the entire business was dialed in, and we've been doing at minimum like 40 to 80 or $90,000 months ever since, and getting set up to grow even more and more. So we've got to practice the energetic essence of where we're going. So you're going to want to ask, and as a regular practice, what's the energetic baseline? What's the energetic, the vibrational essence of where I'm going? Which is a funny way to say, what would it feel like if I had it? What's the vibrational baseline of where I'm going? What is the essence of what I want? The essence of what you want is really what you want. Yes, we want the money. Yes, we blah, 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 blah. But if we got all that stuff without actually achieving the essence, which is feeling good, feeling happy, feeling abundant, feeling expansive, feeling in awe, feeling magical, then we wouldn't really care. You don't want the money and feel like shit at the same time.